I'm really excited for this video because in this one I get to create something for someone else. I'm helping my sibling in-law create a display stand for the crafts that they create, and they are also working on selling some of these. So if you're interested, check out their Instagram at themtheircrafts. I will also show it on the screen and link it in my description. So go check out their Instagram. They make some glasses, chains, and bracelets, and some other really cool stuff. So go check that out. But for this, these are my instructions.
Okay, so hopefully this drawing makes sense. So this is from the side, and this is what it should look like from the front, so that like I can put like little nails all the way across it, and then hook the glasses chains onto that so it hangs down, and then the chain part can fall behind this second part. So the like it'll be like here chains fall down, and then here chains fall down. And then I think that could be, and if I can do 10 and 10, because I have about 20 glasses chains right now, and I think that for glasses chains, like something like this, but I don't know how I don't know how make.
I did actually follow up to actually get some more detailed information. I got some measurements. I got the color that they want their display stand to be. And then there's also going to be 2 smaller stands for some other smaller stuff that they're making. I am looking at the measurements for the bigger one here. So we have the top boards to be 8 inches wide, and then the bottom board being 17, because if 8 and 8, 16 with a 1-inch gap in the middle. But the angle that the boards are going to be at, so there's 21 inches here, 14 inches here. That's about a 60-degree angle, and would be about 4 inches, so a little bit less than 4 inches actually. So I think instead of 17 inches for the bottom, I think if we did 10 inches and had room for either a 1-inch gap in the middle and then a 1-inch gap at the front, or I can offset it, still keep the 1-inch gap in the middle, but on the edges have about a 1/2 inch of space before the boards to connect those two. So I think that's what I'm going to do. 10 inches instead of 17 there. And then we also have this one. It's going to be 16 inches wide, and that'll allow for 10 different nails that they mentioned to be able to hook stuff onto. I don't want to just do nails. I think there's something that could look a little bit nicer when I go to the store tomorrow. I'll check and see what I can find. I also don't have all the tools to be able to cut all of these, so basically I'm going to ask the people at Lowe's to cut certain parts of it. I do have a saw where I can do up to 4 inches, I believe is what it is. So I can cut the angle that I need for it, but for the bigger pieces of the board, that'll be something that I'll need to have them cut. On this one also, you can see 17 inches on the bottom, so that'll be 10 as well. I want to try and make it look as nice as possible, and the goal is to make it so that you can't see any of the screws that I'm using. So I'll end up like puttying over those or something, and then when I have everything ready to go, I can paint over the top of that, and hopefully you won't be able to see anything, and hopefully these will look really nice. Okay, before I go to Lowe's, I am going to check, because when we moved in, people before us left some building supplies in the basement. Is any of this usable? Some of it might be usable, but I don't have the tools for cutting that. There's a big spider on there though. How wide is this? This could be 3 inches. I'm wondering if this could help with the smaller boards for the back of it. This could probably be used for the other part of the smaller board. so I don't need to buy anything for the smaller. To start out, I went to look for some 2x4s. There were some pre-cut ones that looked like about $2 each. Then looking for some larger boards to be the surfaces was a little difficult because all of these pre-cut ones, which would be useful, are a little more expensive than I wanted. Looking at these bigger ones, just as expensive or just the same amount of cost, but way more, and I can use it for future projects if I had it. So I think this is going to be the board I get right here. Just cut it down to the right size that I need. I'll go ahead and take this with me back to the wood cutting station in the back of the Lowe's there. There's no one here. I ended up waiting for almost 45 minutes. Shout out to the security guy Antonio for giving me this sucker and for hanging out with me, but also finding Ronnie here to be able to cut this. Problem is, it was broken. Luckily, Ronnie was able to get it fixed, had to bend something into place. Now we can get everything cut to the right size and head on home. Got my long piece here. I'm gonna mark at 21. That'll be the height, the tallest part. Basically, this is not able to get to the 60 degrees. It goes to 50. So I'm gonna cut at 21 and see what that gets me. Moment of truth. I don't think I got it exact. Not quite. This one is just barely shorter. Perfect. And just to double check, did all that and didn't actually make it 21 inches. Okay. Both of these are currently like 26.25. Well, let's get you down to 21. Now let's get these down to 14. Oh, actually, we want it to get to the short end of this, which is 16.5. Less confident in this one. Oh, perfect. So we got our boards here. That will be on our display. I think now we just put it together. I feel like there's something else that I need to do, but for the large stand that I'm doing, I think this is ready. So this is the plan. I did change the measurements a little bit because I knew that couldn't get to 60 degrees. So the bottom is actually 11 inches this way instead of 10 like I was going to. I did check in with them to make sure it was okay, but it's going to be like this with about an inch gap for the next, or for the front. And then the next guy goes in like that. Before I do anything with my drill, I'm gonna sand it first. There are some like imperfections and a little bit of holes here. When I go through with this filler, when I put the screws in, I'll also fill in those. So when I paint, it just smooth and looks good. So I think what I'm gonna do is put together the panels that will actually be holding stuff. And then I think that will allow me to get the bottom one on a little easier with the slanted, but having more of a flatter surface to set it down on. Dang, it keeps sliding. What if I did it like this? I should put a screw in right now into that spot to hold it there. and then that'll make the rest much easier. Now for the rest, got it all together. Now I'm just going to cover up the screw holes. I had to take one out and move it a little bit. So I'll cover that one up. And then also just seeing a couple edges that could use some sanding. And then we paint it. All that is on now. I just need to let it dry and then sand it, and then we're good to paint. While we wait for it to dry, we can start the smaller stand, which I need 2 of these that are 3 by 10. Now I need 2 of these to also be 10 inches. It is thicker than this, so I'll have to turn it around, and hopefully I can get a good cut with that. Ooh, it got so close. So I just need to do that. That works out pretty good then. Not bad. Sand it down, you wouldn't even be able to tell. Basically, these guys are just gonna be like this. That's it. Easy enough. I am gonna sand these first to try and strip it down a little bit. Then I'll be good to go. Okay, so this is the plan. Have it up like this, and then it sits on this, like that. I'm wondering if I can cut this at an angle, maybe? I don't think I can, though. I might try. I still need to sand these first. Okay, so if I cut it at like a 30-degree angle, see what we can do. Okay, I don't think there is actually a way to, unless I'm just like holding it like this. Puppy. Hi. Hey, buddy. Hi. I want to get it. What if these aren't the full width? So that when I do, like they'll still be super sturdy and everything. I think cut this in half. Questioning it already. Okay, so now this is short enough. Ooh, I can use this to hold it at the angle I want. That worked pretty well. So let's get this next one. Okay, I need to sand the new cuts. And then it's just gonna be 2 screws right there. Yeah, perfect. Whew. Ow. I got this screw to go like into the wood. This screw is stopping at the top of it. That is going to bother me. Yeah, it's just not going to go anymore. I might need a screwdriver to force it. Oh, dang. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. I guess I won't necessarily try to cover or hide them. Got myself a little bit. Well, let me get this next one. Then I'll go get a Band-Aid. Learned my lesson from the other one to not try and force this one in. Yeah, that's pretty good. Small stands, large stand. I do need to put some of this on here. There's some stuff at the top up here. And then I'll just fill in the screw holes, but not necessarily try and hide the screws fully. Now I go wash my hands, get a Band-Aid, gum paint. Everything is sanded down now. Got my paint right here, and it is a sage color. This one is called the Green Bank. Pretty good color. There were a couple spots that sanding it didn't quite get it to how I wanted it, like that screw spot over there, but that's okay. I am not a professional, and hopefully Tev is okay with that. This is a one coat paint, so this shouldn't really take too long. It's mostly just going to be getting all of the little nooks and crannies on the back side of this. So there's the bottom one. Same with these screws over here. I am pretty happy with me adjusting the measurements kind of on the fly and still getting about that 1 inch gap that they wanted between the front and the back. It's just about perfect size distance there. Yeah, the way that I picked this specific color was based on the image that they sent me of the color they wanted, which was similar to the water bottle they were holding. And I was just going around holding up the little cards up to my phone of the picture. So hopefully this color is what they were going for. Should be pretty close. Let's go ahead and just cut to the end of me painting this. We're all painted. Now I'm just gonna let it dry, and then after it's dry, I will put in our nail hooks. I went and mowed the lawn, gave it some time to dry here, and we're going to do 10 nails across here, and also 10 down here, obviously a little closer together. I also mentioned I didn't just wanna do just regular nails, because those wouldn't necessarily look great. So I ordered these. I want to leave some room on the edge. So we'll go 1 inch in for where we'll start. And then from there, it is every 1.4 inches. I'm going to drill the smallest pilot holes that I can just to try and keep a straight nail, because I just want them to look pretty even throughout. Let's put our nails in. Okay, let's cut to the end. Nails are done, finished some touch-up painting. Tomorrow I'll double check if there needs more touch-up painting and then actually do a closer look for the camera. That's awesome too. These are the final products. Pretty happy with how they turned out. There's a few imperfections around, but I am an amateur. So let's go to the review.
Okay, so this is perfect.
Talking numbers, one thing I was surprised about was the pre-cut 2x4 was a little more expensive than I thought, but everything used, just about $25 with plenty of supplies left over for future projects. Let me know what else I should try.